Hi, Daniel and Teresa. Thank you so much for using my services. Right now, I'm going to show you how to take control of your church website. So, the first thing I want to go over is what we're going to go over. So, the first thing is the front page slideshow, and that's this thing right here. And I'm going to show you how to change the pictures, crop the pictures correctly from WordPress, and change what it says down here. The next thing I want to show you is the top countdown timer, which is this thing, and this thing up here. It tells you when the next event is, or when the next church is, or whatever, and that links to the calendar. And the next thing I want to show you is the latest message with an MP3. So what that is right here. You can do a short little message just telling everyone what you're up to, or a little passage, or whatever you want. And here it could be a little MP3, so you can upload a sermon or whatever you want, and when they click it, it will play in MP3. So that's kind of cool. It could be music or whatever you want, as long as you have that MP3. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I'm going to show you how to edit the front page. So we're going to learn how to edit these little boxes, and there's more down here if we want to. I've already set up the get directions for you, so you can see that. You can see a picture and where you're located, so that's pretty cool, I think. And after that, I'm going to show you how to edit a page, just a regular page. So if you go to the About, we can see that nothing is here, and there's nothing in this sidebar. This is called the sidebar right here. So I'm going to show you how to add pictures and do all that good stuff. Alright, the next thing I'm going to show you is the sidebar. So that's this right here, how to edit that. Then I'm going to show you how to add pages. So what if you want another page up here? I'm going to show you how to add pages, and not only add pages, I'm going to show you how to add it to the menu bar. So sorry, that's my cell phone. So this is the menu bar up here, and I'm going to show you how to add a new page to the menu bar. And after that, I'm going to show you the general settings of this church WordPress theme. So the first thing we want to do is simply log in. So you go to yourwebsite.com/wp-admin. And once we're here, we put in our username and password. I think you know how to do this, so it should be pretty easy. Alright, and the first thing we want to do is, what was it? Do the front page slideshow. I'm just going to open up a new tab here so we can do it and then see what we're doing. And on the left here it says slideshows, and then we click add new. And we can give it, let's say this is sunflower, okay? And what you want to do first is have a picture. So you can't have a slideshow without a picture. I'm just going to go to Google Images and take one from the internet. Thank you, internet. I'm going to say Kansas sunflower. Now, you want this size of the pictures to be large. So I'm going to, over here, say large, because you want it to be as wide as this at least. If it's smaller than this, then it's going to look bad. So let's say large. And we'll just choose this one. It looks like a good one. And we can see the width. It's 3,229. The width needs to be at least 958. So just, that's just something to memorize. The width always goes first, then the height. So the width is 958. and the height is 340, but we don't need to worry about that now. So let's look at the full-size image, and let's right-click, or if you have a Mac, hold Control or Command, no, Control click. But if you have a PC, then right-click and press Save Image. And let's just save it to the desktop. Great. Now that it's on the desktop, we can go back to the slideshow and we can click this little button right here. Or we could click this button here. Let's just click this one. And now we're going to choose File, and we're going to open this and click Upload. And we can see the progress down here that it's uploading now. And now it's uploaded. But as you can see here that it's not the correct width. It's not 958 wide by 340 tall like this is. 958 wide, 340 tall. So what we actually need to do is click the Edit Image. Now we're going to click Scale Image because we're scaling this down. You can't really scale an image up because it won't look right, but you can always scale it down. So the width always goes first. So let's go 958. And let's not worry about this number right now, because if we change this number right now, it's going to look distorted. It's going to look squished. So let's just scale it. Whoops, I think I messed up. I think I put 957, and it's actually 958. All right, so let's try that again. Let's go here, choose the file, upload it, and now that's uploaded. Click Edit Image again, and let's scale the image and do 958 this time. Okay, and press Scale. Alright, now it's scaled to 958 wide, but it's not the correct height. So what we have to do is just click here and make sure it's all the way wide. All the way wide. There we go. So now we have 958, which is the right width, and then the height needs to be 340. And now we can move this around to what we want to capture. I want to capture a little sky and that. And once we have this selection, click this crop button. Good, now we have that, and just click Save. Now we have the correct width and height. So that's 958 by 340. Now what we do is we click Use as Featured Image, because it's the featured image. And we can press Exit and click Publish. Now once that's done, we can click Refresh on your website. I actually skipped a step. Before you press Update, what you want to do is click here to activate it. Alright, press Update and click Refresh. Now we can see it. But now we see that it doesn't have any text here like it does here. And we can see that it's the first post. And the way to order these images is to change the date. So whatever the latest date is going to be the first image. So if you post a bunch of featured images and you want one of them to be first, you just have to arrange it so that the latest date, and you can edit it here, the latest date image will go first. So, and I can show you by editing it and putting this back to January that when we click refresh now, it's not going to be the first image. It's actually going to be the last image. So that is that. To give a description, we can add something here. And we can click update. Now we can see when we refresh it that there's a little description, but you can see that it's small. It's not like these other ones. Well, to change that, unfortunately, you have to do a little HTML. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do it. It's not very hard. What you do is you do a less than, and you do a H2, and then you do a greater than sign, and then here, right after it, you do a less than, a forward slash, and H2, and then a greater than sign. And now if we click update and refresh our page, we can see that it's much bigger. And H2, just for your information, if you cared, means heading 2. So you can do a heading 1 and it'll be even bigger. And you can go all the way to heading 6 and it'll be real small. So that's how you do the front slider. Now that we've finished the front page slideshow, finished, we are going to do the top countdown timer. So this timer is linked to this calendar. So whenever you make a new calendar event, there's some options that say what time it is, and then it links to this calendar event. So the way we do that, I'm just going to go back to the, I'm just going to go back to the dashboard. The way we do that is on the left here, we go to calendars, and we can see all of our events, and let's click add new. So we can add a new church event, and we can say that the place is at the church and it starts tomorrow. No, let's make it start tomorrow, and it ends tomorrow, and it starts at 7 o'clock. Well, 7:30. We'll sleep in a little bit. Alright, and then we click publish. And we refresh this. And it shows us the calendar that is starting the soonest. So it's the next event. And now we can go to look at it. We can look at it and we can see that it starts there and the time and the place and everything. So it looks real nice, and we can see the calendar. We can see that we have a Thursday church event, and on Friday we have a new event. So that's pretty easy to do. And if we want to delete a calendar, let's say that we don't want this church event anymore, we just put in the trash, and we can refresh this. And we can see now that our next event is in a day. So that other event. Alright, now that we have that done and taken care of, the next thing we're going to talk about is the latest message with an MP3. So the latest message is right here. In order to edit that, go to our dashboard, and we'll go to messages, and we could click add new. our church message. And we don't need to put anything here. And we can say the passage is, this is our message right here. Alright, and we can add some more things and we can link it to an event if we want. And we can click publish. Now we can refresh this and we can see that it changed. Sometimes you may want to add a MP3 to this so you can play and you can actually hear the message. So let's see how to do that. First you have to have an MP3, and if you don't know how to do that, maybe you can ask your daughter. I'm sure she knows how to do that. But the way to do it is you add from here and you choose file, and we have an MP3 here, and we click upload. So now that it's uploaded, you don't need to do anything else, and just press update. So now we can refresh this, and we see that there's a little microphone symbol here, and if you click on it, we can hear the MP3. Alright, the next thing we are going to talk about is editing the front page. Okay, so we already know how to do the slider, but what about this area right here? Okay, these areas are called widget areas because you can drop little widgets in here or do your own thing or anything you want. So let's see how to control that. And there's even more down here, but they're empty, so it doesn't show. But let's see how to control that. So what you do is we go back to the dashboard, and we, under appearance, we go to widgets. Alright, and then right here it says index page left, index page center, index page right. So what we want to do is, this is the left, this is the center, this is the right. So this is the left, the center, the right. And these are our upcoming events widget. So let's delete this one and let's see what happens. So we refresh. Now we can see that that one isn't there. So both of these events right here moved over because to fill a space because it wasn't there. But let's add something. Let's add the Net Studio Social widget and press save and see what that does. It didn't do anything because this widget is empty. So maybe if we add something to it. No, I guess we didn't set up the social bookmarks yet. So let's actually do the newsletter widget, see if that's set up. And click save. And we see that yes, we have a newsletter message. So this allows us to capture people's email addresses if we want. And there we go, you got the email message. Alright, and then now to put something in this center widget, and you could put images, you could put anything. So, but let's make it custom. Maybe you want something that's custom and not a pre-made widget. You could put a calendar. So if you want something custom, let's do it in the center one. Let's delete what I have here. If you want something custom, just bring this Black Studio Tiny MCE and drag it down and plop it in there. Okay, and here you can add images like this. And we'll show this one. And we'll do it real small. And then we can put some text if we want. And we can press save. And it turns it into the HTML code for you, so you don't need to do that. And now if we go back here, we can see that we have a little image in there now, instead of just plain text, or their custom widgets, which are pre-built for you. You can also add things to the footer, which always stay there, but if you wanted to add the newsletter widget, let's say, to the footer, we can sign up for our newsletter and click save, and then we can refresh this and see that the newsletter widget is now in the footer, and that's going to be on every page. This is not going to be on every page. This is just going to be on the home page. So that is that. And there's two of them on there, and that's why it's messing up a little bit. So only have it one per page. Alright, and that is the front. The next thing we're going to go over is how to edit a page. So we have pages here, like about, and let's just click that. And it says here and here, edit page. So let's just go ahead and click on it. And now we can edit this page. Get a little smiley face. Maybe you want to make it bigger. And we can again add an image. And let's do a little bigger since it's bigger. And press update. And now we can go back to viewing that page, that about page, and we can see that it's updated and it looks much better than a plain page. So you can do a whole bunch of things editing the pages. Now you can't edit this calendar page because it's a custom page that they made. So that's the only one you can't edit. I mean, you can delete it, but you can't edit it. Yeah, great. So, and you can ABC check and do a whole bunch of, color the text or do whatever you want to do. And just press update. And the page will be edited. Alright, that's good. So the next thing is the sidebar. And by that I mean on this about page, there's this sidebar. It's actually called the sidebar widget. So we can go into Appearance and go to Widgets. And we can see that the primary widget area. So we can add something else to it and say hello. And let's insert that sunflower picture that we love so much again. We can show this, and let's just do a little one because it's a little space. We'll insert into post, and we'll click save. Okay. Now if we refresh, we can see that we have the sunflower picture in there. And you can put anything in here. You can put that sign-up form or your recent post or your events or whatever you want into here. And you can even link to a new page. So let's say take a look at our events. And we just highlight that and we click the link, and let's choose an existing thing. So we will choose our calendar and click add link. So we can save it. And now if we go back here and we refresh, we can take a look at our event, and we click on it and it takes us to the calendar page. So that is the widgets, and that's in the primary widget area. If this is minimized like this, you can maximize it. So these are the home page, this is the footer at the bottom of the page, and this is the primary widget area. This is where the sidebar is. This just means sidebar. So that is here, the sidebar. That controls this. This controls that, I mean. Alright, that was pretty good. And the next thing is adding pages. What if we want an additional page? Let's see how we do that. We go to Pages and we press Add New. And let's say we want a new new page. Okay. Not very creative with that, I know, but whatever. This is a new page. Okay. And we click Publish. And we did that, and we refresh this, and we see that our new page isn't anywhere. I don't see it. So what we do is we go under Appearance, we go to Menus, and we can see that our menu is structured like this. So what we do over here on Pages is we click New Page and we click Add to Menu. And then we press Save Menu. Now, this might look a little funny because we've already maximized it, so it might make an error, but let's just see what happens. So yeah, the new page goes down here. But if we didn't maximize this, it would go right up there. So what we can do, since we don't like our new page there, is we can drag it up under Groups and indent it. So this is actually under the groups. It's a submenu. And let's click Save Menu. And now if we refresh, we can, under Groups, we can see that we have a new page. And that's all there is to making new pages. And when they're indented under them, it makes a subpage. And sometimes you have to view all pages so you can see them all. And just click it and press Add to Menu, and then drag it to the appropriate place in the appropriate order. Alright, let's delete this though. And click Save Menu. And we can refresh. And we can see that it's gone. Alright. We did that, and we did that. The next and last thing I want to show you is the custom WP Church options. So you just click on this here, and we can upload a logo like I did. We can choose different color scheme and add a tagline if we want. We could do all types of things. We can change the slideshow settings, so it could be not 14 seconds, we can change it to 10 seconds, or if you only like the fade effect or the swirl effect or whatever, you can change the effect of it. And once you're done, you just press Save Changes. Here are some of the social settings. This is why that other widget didn't work, because we didn't have the Facebook URL in here. But once all that is done, you can again go to your widget areas and drag that plugin in. And here's the maps and contact. I put all this in for you, so Try not to change that. It took a little time. And if you don't want it to be called latest message on the front page, latest message, you can change that all right here. And that is about it. There's a lot more options for this, but they have pretty good documentation that's not that confusing or nerdy. It sounds nerdy, but it's not that bad. And you can check out the documentation. I'll send it to you in a zip file. And you can just open it up and it tells you how to change pretty much everything. And it goes way more into depth with all the different options. So I want to thank you again, Teresa and Daniel, for using my services, and I hope this video helped you. Thank you so much.